Wait, Anthony Pettis. First question will go to Caroline Pierce from BT Sport.
Hi, Anthony. Congratulations on your performance tonight. 7 years later, you get the win again, but it was a very close fight this time. What do you think ultimately swung it in your direction?
I don't know, honestly. It's hard because there was no crowd this time. I feed off the crowd. Like my fighting style, like I could, if I land something, the oohs and the ahs is kind of tell me where I'm at in the fight. This time there was no oohs and ahs. So it was kind of like just hearing my corner and his corner. So I got to go back and watch the fight. I got hit a little more than I wanted to. Cowboy's a legend, man. Like that's one of the guys I respect. The guy we've been competing in the same weight classes for a long time, man. So it was a fun fight.
We're talking of oohs and ahs. There was that big kick that you took in the third round that looked like it stung you a little bit. I mean, how tough was it to overcome that one?
I gotta go see that one. I think I stepped into it, so it wasn't like the whole kick hit me. But I got a chin. I don't think I've been rocked in the octagon yet, where somebody got me dazed. So hopefully, knock on wood, that doesn't happen.
You definitely showcased that for sure. Look, you said prior to this fight that, it's really about getting your confidence back coming off the 2 losses. Do you feel like that's back now? Do you feel, comfortable with that fight, that performance, and that your confidence is high again?
You know what? I took this fight on 21 days notice. So I had 3 weeks to train for this fight. And it was like a weird kind of training, but I'm so glad I took part of this event. It made me reinvent my training camp. I'm excited to go right back to work. And I kind of got that burning desire to go be great in the sport again. I forget everything else. I kind of who cares about what people are saying? I just want to be great in the sport before my time is done.
Well, you know what it's like to be a champion. You're now in the welterweight division, and I'm sure the hunger is there in that division as well. Talk about getting back. Do you see the welterweight division as your home going forward? What is this now, your 4th fight at 170?
Fourth fight at 170. I had one way back in the day at 170 pounds. This will be my new home eventually, but I still have some stuff I want to handle at 155. So I'm gonna go a couple more fights at 155 pounds before I can't make that weight, or I don't want to make that weight anymore. And then 170 will be my new home.
Any particular fighter you want to handle at 155?
I would love to fight the loser of the main event, Tony Ferguson, Justin Gaethje. I know one's getting the title shot, and the other one needs a dance partner, and I'm healthy.
Okay, sounds good. And lastly, what words were said between yourself and Cowboy after the fight? And are you going to go and celebrate with him in the RV out in the parking lot?
Yeah, you know what? I respect Cowboy, man. Like, we fought twice now. He's been around. He's a legend of the sport. He got so many great performances. I really respect Cowboy. I became a fan of Cowboy. After our first fight, I was like, yo, this guy is like me. He'll fight anybody, anytime, anywhere. Don't matter the weight class, and you got to respect that.
Well, a legend yourself. Thank you for a great performance tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Next, we have Danny Segura from USA Today MMA Junkie.
Anthony, congrats on the victory. First of all, how you're a veteran, you've been around the sport for a very long time. How did it feel fighting without a crowd? Was there a big difference than
huge difference? I mean, it's been such a long time since I had a fight with less than 15,000 people, 16,000 people. I'm so used to that. Like my whole career, I was born in that arena, and then going to this was like it was definitely a little different, man, because the crowd's not there to give you that energy, that drive. So I kind of had to. I knew going into that, I kind of like had to tune into myself and my coaches. But when you're in there, until you're in there, you really don't know how it feels, and it definitely was different.
Yeah. Do you prefer it or?
I don't know. I definitely got to win, so I'm excited about that. But there's something about the atmosphere of everybody sharing that moment with you, and you can feel it. So I think I love having the crowd around.
Yeah. And a while back, I saw there was like a behind the scenes video where Paul Felder was speaking to Dan Hardy, and it seemed that there was some talk maybe at some point between you two fighting. Dan Hardy recently expressed interest in a return to MMA. Is that someone you have in mind as a future fight, maybe next?
Yeah, you know what? I didn't think about that, but if he wants to come back and fight relatively soon, I'm not going to wait for Dan Hardy. But if he's ready and he wants to fight and the UFC wants to make it happen, I don't really say no to anybody. I don't think I ever said no to anybody. So yeah, if he wants to fight and he's ready, Dan's been. I watched Dan, the Red Mohawk. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I'll fight him.
And it seems from the previous questions that you want to you just fought at 170, but you have still unfinished business at 155. Is it safe to say that in your next spot out, we should expect you at that weight class, 155?
There's nothing. There's honestly, like with what's going on right now, nothing's guaranteed, man. We're in a weird time, so that gave us an opportunity right now to go be the main event of this right here. Some people were talking trash about it, like, oh, Pettis and Cowboy, the main event of the prelims, but I don't. I like to put on a show, and I think we put on a show. I think we both went out there and we fought our asses off.
Well, appreciate the time and congrats on the victory.
Thank you.
Last question's going to Gabriel Gonzalez from Cageside Press.
Hi, congratulations, Anthony. I heard from the other scrum that you just did there live that you'd actually been working through the UFC with a sports psychologist. I mean, you're a guy, you've been champion, you've been around a long time. Can you just talk about adding just, I guess, that element to, just part of your craft is working with somebody?
And it's huge. You know what? Honestly, my fiance is like the one that got me really into opening up to actually explore that. For some reason, man, I think, growing up where I grew up, I'm Hispanic, Puerto Rican, Mexican. I look down upon that kind of stuff. I'm like, yo, if somebody needs to go get some advice to be mentally strong, they're weak. And then my fiance kind of like just nudged me to go explore. So I had a meeting, and man, I'll tell you, bro, like it helped so much. Like it cleared so many. It's not that it cleared it. It gave me a path to defend against when I have a negative thought. Somebody tells me something negative, and I hear it all the time. I'm sure that some people are going to talk trash about this fight. If I go in and I read that, whether you like it or not, like a 2-minute tweet, a 10-second tweet that you read changes the vibe of the week, the training session, the month. And I wasn't aware of that. So I was just allowing myself to get pulled in like 28 different directions. And how do you focus on what you're trying to do out there in the fight? So this time, every in between each round, the first round I stayed standing up. In my head, I was breathing. I was doing my deep breaths. I'm like, all right, let me get back to right where I'm at right now. How do I change this moment? And I felt good in there. When you go in there and you're scatterbrained and you don't have like that you're not equipped with that information, it's a scary time, and it's scary in that octagon. It's a scary place.
Can I ask, Anthony, because a lot of people, when the scorecards were read in your favor, you did have this just expression. It did look like a bit of surprise. Can you set the record straight? What did go through your mind when they said Anthony Pettis unanimous decision?
I had no idea. I'm so used to fighting with a crowd. I think without even knowing, like I know how I did in the fight based on how the crowd responded. This time I didn't know. Like I heard my coaches, I heard his coaches. His coaches said he won. My coaches said I won. I had no idea. I knew I got taken down twice. He didn't really do nothing with it, but in the past, when people took me down, I usually lost them fights. So that's why I was just like, we'll see what happens. And I think I gotta change that. I gotta change that mindset. That's another thing. Like now that I can recognize it, like all right, he took me down, and I was like, oh, he beat me. That's not true. Like I just found out it's not true. Like I put that in my head for some dumb reason, but I'm living and I'm learning. I'm still having fun with it, and I'm excited to come back and keep going.
Finally, this was an exciting fight. This was a great win. You snapped the losing streak, but we're still in the midst of a global situation. Are you able to plan to celebrate this one, or do you feel like you gotta almost put the victory party on hold?
You know what, man? I don't really need to celebrate anymore. I've been fighting so much. Like I used to do that, have these vacates planned, have the after party set up, what I'm wearing to the after party, how I'm gonna look. Like I'm stopped thinking about that. Like literally, like I just want to be remembered as putting some amazing performances on. So the rest of my career, that's what I'm focusing on. Good fights, big fights, and just leaving my mark on this sport.
Okay, thank you, Anthony. Congrats again.
Thank you.
All done, Anthony. Congrats. Have a good night.
You too.